Oh, it's one of my favorite movies, and we all kind of feel like this on this day. It's Groundhog Day. Welcome to Morning Live. Bill Murray punches the alarm clock, slams it down. We'll be traveling across the, eastern Canada, down to the States. Wyerton Willie going to make his prognostication today on this Groundhog Day.
Yes.
Brian, we trust in you mostly about what's happening in our weather.
I was going to say this. Maybe this is the one day of the year when weather folk should just say, nope, not doing it. The groundhog can do it today. You do it. I'm going home.
You can go. It's a Monday.
I'll go home and go back to bed, and I'll hit my alarm clock.
There you go.
Oh, gee. Well, it all depends on where you are as to what you're going to get. Puxatawny Phil and all, Wyerton Willie, are they going to see their shadow? Or are they going to see some sunshine? Are they not going to see some? Well, we'll see what happens as the day progresses. But let's talk about what we're going to see. We are going to see some sunshine today. Later on this afternoon, we could get some flurries, but it will be a touch milder than last week. Thankfully, we're going to hit -6 for the day today with a wind chill of -10. Now, it's still cold. We still have a cold weather alert issued by Environment Canada for Hamilton, for Brantford, for Simcoe, Cayuga, the south shore of Lake Erie. So still cold today, but not as cold as it was last week. Thanks very much for that. So yeah, we'll see some sun. So right now, it is cold, -17. Yeah, that's a pretty chilly start to the day with a wind chill of -23 right now. We'll talk about it coming up. I want to have a quick look at traffic because I was just going through some cameras and I'm not finding anything. Here's the 403 and Waterdown Road. Here's Centennial Parkway. All doing fine. No problems. Top of the Skyway Bridge. And look at Bronte Road. No, as you can see, it's pretty light so far. No collisions. We'll keep you posted, though. Weather and traffic coming up. Right now, the news.
Thank you, Brian. Hamilton recorded its first shooting of the year over the weekend. Happened Saturday evening on the Hamilton Mountain, and that's where we find our own Emily Wong. Emily, good morning.
Good morning, Rick. Now, police say they responded to reports of a shooting to a business here. I'm standing at 27th and Fennel, but they say they responded to this at East 28th and Fennel Saturday evening. The incident took place in somewhere along that intersection. Now, they say that we do not have a description of the suspects yet, but police believe they fled on foot northbound. At this time, investigators are asking residents and business owners or anyone who may have been traveling through the block up to Queensdale Avenue East and Upper Sherman to check security camera and dashcam footage for any suspicious activity between 7 and 7:15 Saturday evening. The investigation is now in the hands of the shooting response team. You may recall this team was formed back in 2024 in response to the spike in the region's shooting. In 2024, the region saw a whopping total of 60 shootings, which is a significant increase from the 5-year average leading up to that year, which was around 43. And as you mentioned, this was the first shooting of 2026. Last year in 2025, the first shooting was January 6th. We have reached out to police to see if there are any updates since they released that media release, and we will bring you those details as we get them. For now, Simone, I'll send things back to you.
Thanks, Emily. Hamilton police are investigating an armed robbery at a Cash for Gold store on Fennel Avenue East that happened Sunday evening. Police say 3 men entered armed with guns and crowbars and stole gold, silver, and cash. Now, there were no injuries reported, and the suspects fled the scene in a black Ford SUV driven by a 4th suspect. It was last seen going westbound on Charlton Avenue towards the 403, and the OPP were notified. Police are asking anyone with information or video to reach out. The suspects are described as black men wearing ski masks.
The victim had called the police stating that he had just been robbed at gunpoint. He had been robbed of both cash and gold. Right now, the Bear Unit is assigned this investigation at this point. Obviously, gold is very expensive, which is obviously demand for it. So we are aware of the situation. Bear is following up on this investigation, and we know about the other situations as well in the city.
Canadian Armed Forces is investigating how one of its service members, originally from Hamilton, died while deployed in Latvia. 24-year-old gunner Sebastian Halmagine was part of the Canadian-led NATO multinational brigade in the Baltic country. The CAF says he served for 3 years and died last Thursday while on his first overseas deployment. No cause of death was given, but officials say there is no increased threat to other soldiers. Prime Minister Mark Carney posted on X saying he was saddened to hear about the passing of Halmagine, and his thoughts are with his family, friends, and those who served alongside him.
Renowned billionaire businessman Frank Stronach is set to stand trial in Toronto this week as the first of 2 cases accusing him of sexual offenses against several women over decades begins. Stronach, the founder and former head of the auto parts giant Magna International, faces a dozen charges involving 7 complainants whose identities are protected by a publication ban. The allegations relate to incidents spanning the 1970s, 80s, and 90s. Stronach has denied all allegations against him. He's expected to face a separate trial in Newmarket later this year.
Canada's Governor General will be visiting Greenland, Denmark, and Norway this week. Mary Simon's office says the first part of her trip to Norway is aimed at highlighting Canada's commitment to Arctic collaboration and the role of Indigenous communities in shaping the future of the region. Her trip will also focus on the historic bonds between Inuit in Canada and Greenland. Simon served as ambassador to Denmark from 1999 to 2001.
Palestinians are once again re-entering the Rafah border crossing between the Gaza Strip and Egypt. The crossing has been mostly closed since May 2024, when the Palestinian side was captured by Israeli armed forces. The reopening is a key component of the first stage of U.S. President Donald Trump's ceasefire plan between Israel and Hamas, which began in October. Only dozens of people will be able to cross in both directions each day. Humanitarian aid and commercial goods will still not be allowed through. Talks between Ukraine, Russia, and the United States aimed at ending the war in Ukraine are slated to take place this week in Abu Dhabi. The second talks were originally tentatively scheduled to take place yesterday, but were pushed back. Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky wrote on X, quote, "The dates for the next trilateral meetings have been set, February 4th and 5th in Abu Dhabi," while saying that his negotiating team had just delivered the report. He says, quote, "Ukraine is ready for a substantive discussion, and we are interested in ensuring that the outcome brings us closer to a real and dignified end to the war." The first such talks took place in the United Arab Emirates capital last weekend and were hailed by all sides as, quote, "constructive." President Donald Trump announced Sunday plans to close the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C. for about 2 years so the building can undergo extensive renovations. The president unveiled those plans on social media. He said the tentative date for the closure will be on July 4th, which coincides with the 250th anniversary of the country's founding. The president said the move is pending approval of the Kennedy Center's board. Those members were handpicked by the president. Trump also is chairman of the board as well, and nearly 2 months ago, the board voted to rename the arts institution the Trump Kennedy Center. Well, NASA is getting ready to launch the Artemis II rocket into space with 4 astronauts on board. The agency is preparing for a dress rehearsal at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida today, but cold weather and strong winds could alter those plans. The initial plan was to launch the Artemis rocket later this week, but that will now be pushed back until engineers can review the results of the dress rehearsal. Once the mission gets underway, the astronauts will orbit the moon in the Orion spacecraft. This will be the first manned mission to the moon in more than 50 years. Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen is a member of the 4-person Artemis crew. He'll be the first non-American to participate in a lunar mission.
Sportsline, the CFL's free agency communication window, the time when teams can contact pending free agents, opened with a flurry of activity. The Hamilton Tiger Cats were busy. They signed Canadian quarterback Trey Ford. 3 Down Nation says the 27-year-old Niagara Falls native has inked a 2-year deal with the Cats. The Waterloo product and 2021 Heck Crichton Trophy winner was released by Edmonton last Friday. In 60 games with the Elks, he threw for 4,600 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 19 interceptions. Ticats also lost a number of key players yesterday. Backup quarterback Taylor Powell signed with Edmonton, as did offensive lineman Coulter Woodmansey, Jordan Murray, and Brendan Bordner. Running back Greg Bell and linebacker Brian Cole signed with Ottawa. Defensive back Deshaun Amos returned to Toronto, while Jonathan Moxey bolted for Winnipeg. The communication window closes next Sunday, and free agency opens February 10th. What a final at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts in Mississauga. Let's pick it up in the 6th end at the Paramount Fide Food Centre, with Canada's Carrie Anderson leading Manitoba's Caitlin Laws 2-0. Laws draws for 2 to even the score. Down 3-2 in the 10th end. The pressure is on Anderson, who must make an incredibly difficult angle raise to score 1 and force extra ends. And she does it. And in the 11th, Laws gets a chance to win it all.
Final stone. Walker. Walker. Now here's Gordon. Here's Gordon. They got it by. Have they got this? Oh no, they touched it and it won't go. And it'll be a 5th championship for Carrie Anderson.
Laws can't make the shot. Anderson hangs on to beat Laws 4-3 in 11 ends at Paramount Fide Food Center. It is Anderson's 5th national women's curling title and first since 2023. She's going to represent Canada at next month's Women's World Curling Championship in Calgary. RJ Barrett scored 21 points. Sandro Mamukelashvili added 20 as the Raptors opened a 5-game homestand with a 107-100 win over the Utah Jazz. Brandon Ingram added 19 points, and Emmanuel quickly chipped in with 17 to help Toronto end a 2-game losing streak. Before the game, Toronto's Scotty Barnes was named as a reserve to the NBA All-Star Game. Well, not only did the NHL stage its latest outdoor hockey game, it also included a goalie fight.
Swayman and Vasilevsky may go. Swayman tells Vasilevsky, take your mask off, and he obliges. This is crazy.
Tampa Bay's Andrei Vasilevsky and Boston Jeremy Swayman dropped the gloves in front of more than 64,000 fans at Raymond James Stadium. The fight seemed to spark the Lightning, who rallied from a 5-1 deficit to stun the Bruins 6-5 in a shootout. Nikita Kucherov scored the tying goal in the 3rd period and added 3 assists, while Jake Gensel scored the only goal of the shootout. At -5 Celsius, it was the coldest February 1st on record in Tampa in 126 years. Brendan Hagel scored 11 seconds into the game, the fastest in an outdoor game. Adam Banak scored in regulation and netted the only goal of the shootout as the Brantford Bulldogs topped the Sioux Greyhounds 3-2. Ryan Roberick scored with just 2 seconds to play to lead the Niagara Ice Dogs to a 2-1 win over the North Bay Battalion. Justin Rose went wire to wire to win the Farmers Insurance Open. Dundas's Mackenzie Hughes was the top Canadian, 20 shots behind. And the Arizona Cardinals have hired Rams offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur as their new head coach.
I've got you. Oh, gee, I got to get that song out of my head. All right, 6:13. It's Monday. It's Groundhog Day. Let's get into it here. 2nd of February. Let's look at the 403 and Waterdown Road. Nothing there. It's looking fine. So we don't have really any problems in traffic this morning. Let's go to some MTO traffic cameras. Garden City Skyway, East camera. Nothing there. Same with Centennial Parkway. Still looks good. North of 2 off the Skyway, fine. Ford Plant. Yeah, we're just flipping through some cameras here. QEW at Tobacco Creek doing okay. So let's get to our temperature that we have at the moment. Now, last hour we were -16, and the temperature can still fall right straight through until sunrise, which thank goodness is getting earlier all the time now. But we're sitting at -17 at the moment. The winds are easing off a bit now, southwest at 9, still make it feel like -23. So we have a cold weather alert for Hamilton, Brantford, Simcoe, Cayuga, Delhi. We do have some light flurry activity. So for school today, we're going to see some sun, some clouds. We are going to have some flurries on and off throughout the day. Get that groundhog out of there. What's he doing driving the bus? -6 should be the high for the day today with a wind chill of -10. We have a low pressure system way up to the north. And ahead of it, we have that southerly flow. As I said, we have a southwest wind right now. That's helping our temperatures. We got to -6 yesterday. Today we'll hit -6 as well. A lot better than what we had last week. At least we'll be in the -single digits. -5, 6, and 7 for the day today. Some sun this morning. And then some flurries later on. Flurries again tonight. Temperatures, well, that's seasonal. -10 for an overnight low. -10 to -9 for the overnight with some flurries. And then tomorrow we're looking at -3, -4, -5, -3. That'll be a balmy day from what we've had for a while into Niagara. But yeah, so a little bit milder, but it'll be fairly cloudy tomorrow with some flurries on and off. So out the door, second morning of February, Groundhog Day. There he is again popping up. So cloudy, some light snow, temperature -16 to -17 around the horseshoe. So we will look at the long-range forecast coming up. Simone, Rick.
That Groundhog is a sneaky guy. Coming up, we're going to say good morning to Emily with a preview of what's to come in Chit Chat. And in business news this morning, the precious metal wild ride has come back to earth. We'll tell you more on where they stand now after the break. 6:17 on your Monday morning. Good morning to Emily. What's coming up in Chit Chat?
Hi, good morning. A 90s teen comedy is finally getting the respect it deserves.
Oh.
As if.
I'm intrigued.
I'm very interested.
I just gave it away.
As if.
As if. No?
I don't want to spoil it. I know what you're talking about, but I don't want to spoil it.
I was like, hello, come on. The Super Bowl ads, they just keep on coming, and this one that we're going to show you today is absolutely hilarious. And, well, what would a morning show be without a recap of the Grammys? Yeah, it happened last night. It's kind of like the Super Bowl of the artists.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Emily. In overseas trading this morning, the Canadian dollar is down slightly to 73.32 cents U.S. Gold is down substantially from last week. We'll have more on that in a moment. Oil also down this morning, dropping $3 to $61.99 U.S. a barrel. Midday European trading, London, Frankfurt, and Paris are all fairly flat this hour.
The Asian markets are all down today, with both Tokyo and Hong Kong dropping more than 600 points. North American markets were also down Friday, led by a big plunge on the TSX, losing more than 1,000 points.
A wild run in precious metals came to a screeching halt on Friday. Gold and silver, which hit record highs last week, plunged, wiping out their weekly gains. Silver futures tumbled 22%, while gold fell 8%. Now, silver had surged past $100 an ounce this month, driven by traders chasing momentum. Gold also soared, briefly topping $5,000 an ounce. But investors say the swings became detached from fundamentals, warning that fear of missing out pushed prices into a dangerous phase. But even after the drop, both gold and silver remain up on the year.
Energy, mining, and media companies are set to deliver fourth quarter results this week. Suncor Energy, with its capital budget of $5.6 billion, will start things off on Tuesday, followed by Barrick Mining on Thursday. Bell Canada Enterprises will also release fourth quarter results on Thursday, following the success of its streaming services ministry's heated rivalry. On Friday, Statistics Canada will release its latest report on the country's job market when it publishes its labor force survey for January.
Canada's Minister of Housing and Infrastructure says Ottawa wants to accelerate home building in lagging provinces by drawing private developers into federally backed affordable housing projects. Gregor Robertson says the new Build Canada Homes is also working to attract financing from Canadian banks and pension funds to support non-market housing. Robertson says that uneven construction results across the country and says the federal government aims to smooth market slowdowns by making affordable projects more attractive when private building stalls. Housing experts say the approach makes sense in theory, but warn success will depend on fast implementation and overcoming challenges in attracting profit-driven investors to affordable housing. All right, quick timeouts. Brian is going to be back with your traffic update and your 7-day weather forecast. Good morning.
Good morning, 6:23. It's Monday, the 2nd of February. Looking at our MTO traffic cameras, we'll check the skyways. First of all, the Garden City Skyway, that's the west camera. Here's the QEW top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge on the Hamilton side, so Toronto-bound lanes heading away from us. Doing fine. Same with Bronte Road. No problems at Lorne Park. All the way through, even the 403 at Glen Erin. No problems. Toronto-bound coming towards us on that camera. Temperature in Hamilton, yay, we get to be the cold spot once again around us. -17, wind chill of -23, so yeah, cold weather alert for the city of Hamilton. -14 Mississauga, 13 Grimsby, -11 into Toronto at the moment. So we talk seasonal temperatures this time of year. -2 for the daytime high. Well, at least we got to -6 yesterday, and we should be there again today. -10 for the overnight low, which is actually where we'll be tonight. So we'll be seasonal tonight. Those are our sun times and records for today. And for school today, we should be -15 for the first bell. We'll see some sun, and then -6 for after school, and we will get some snow flurry activity. So for today, Groundhog Day, -6 with a wind chill of -10, but some sun. -10 tonight, -5 for tomorrow. -5, so temperature still below seasonal, but a bit better. Wind chill of -10. We'll get some flurries tonight, some flurries again for the day tomorrow. Wednesday, sunny and -6. We stay at -6 for Thursday. Temperature moderates by Friday, but we'll get some snow in the forecast. And then for the weekend, -10 and -8 with some sun. That's your forecast. Simone, Rick.
Thanks, Brian. Some important Groundhog Day news to pass along. The annual Groundhog Day event in Shubenacadie Wildlife Park in Nova Scotia is canceled.
And this means that Shubenacadie Sam will remain in her burrow and not see her shadow, which means an early spring. Woo-hoo. Yay! Unlike this video from 2023 where Sam did not see, or rather did see her shadow and predicted 6 more weeks of winter. Now, the Wildlife Park says they've canceled the event due to forecasted blowing snow, which could create unsafe driving conditions for travelers. Sam has been in the spotlight making Groundhog Day predictions since 2021, taking over from her male predecessors, but today she's enjoying a little work from whole day. Stay tuned to Morning Live. We'll have updates from other weather predicting prognosticators. Ooh, I almost tripped on that one, such as Wyerton Willie, Lucy the Lobster, and Puxatawny Phil.
Wow.
Look at Sam
Look at her go.
Okay, so yes, she's having a work from whole day,
Yep.
and we are waiting to see the rest of the predictions coming in. I'm really hoping that we hopefully have shorter winter, early spring.
Yeah. This is Punxsutawney Phil, the OG. Back in 1887, this all started in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. And we'll see if Phil sees his shadow. Willie was actually the only one to predict an early spring last year. All the other ones said, no, longer winter.
Right?
We'll see what happens today. We'll keep you posted throughout the day here on Morning Live. They're having fun in Punxsutawney, that's for sure.